Hello, Dr. Mez. Fancy seeing you here. I swear, this is not going to become just like a skincare roast channel. It's just when one of the biggest perpetrators of misinformation and scare tactics for clout on TikTok comes for me. We're going to do a deep dive. And I also think that there's a lot that we can all learn and take away from this deep dive. I think she kind of became obsessed with me or developed a vendetta after I responded to her video, POV you shower when the toilet lid is up. She tried to, I think, insinuate that if you shower with your toilet open, that it gives you acne, which, if you really are a doctor and you have any understanding of the pathophys of acne, you will know that this is not a thing. I tried to look into her credentials a little bit, and you'll see on her profile, her name is doctor, but she says that she's a medical student. But then elsewhere, if you click on her link tree, it says that she's a medical intern, which I don't know what country she's in, but in the US here, that would insinuate that you're a doctor in residency. So, I mean, I don't know, Dr. Mez, you could probably fill us in on that, but there was no way to find your full name to look up your credentials. So, jury's out on if you're a doctor at all. Anyway, she was really annoyed about this and made some like angry post about it and said, "Oh, this dermatologist," with a photo of me in a corset. You could have picked my headshot. You could have picked any of the thousands and thousands of images of me online, but you picked this one. And I think your intent is clear. You're trying to discredit me, and it kind of smacks of homophobia a little bit, but I look good. She then goes on to use social media posts from influencers as like justification of her point, including, oh, how many likes this video got. That's not science. That's not a citation. The whole idea doesn't make sense, and you're not backing it up in any way. She goes on to say that I thrive on ignorance and deliberately making women feel bad about their skin. However, let's examine her feed. Miss Girl is obsessed with scaring people about toilet seats specifically. Like, there's a lot of posts about this is what you can get from toilet seats, which, like, there's no citations for the images. So, like, this could be psoriasis. You don't get psoriasis from a toilet seat. That doesn't make any sense. Like, this is fearmonger. Like, again, this is like a random image that could be so many things, but like, oh, let's scare people off of sitting on a toilet. And I mean, her account is filled with this stuff, just trying to scare people off of normal things without giving any explanation. So you use hair conditioner in the shower. POV, you wash your face with your hands, and this is supposed to scare people. You face the water in the shower. There's also kind of like made up stuff. Like she will twist things into making them sound like medical conditions. Like POV, your melatonin level is low, to talk about people with insomnia, or talk about like really specific things and try to scare people by generalizing them. Like your diet is high in nickel. If you don't have nickel allergy, you don't have to worry about this. And even a lot of most people with nickel allergy don't even have to worry about that. So, like, why are you talking about it? I mean, I could go on and on. Your zinc level is low. There is such a thing as zinc deficiency. However, this is Haley Bieber. Does she have zinc deficiency? Do you know that? Are you her doctor? Are you diagnosing her? And then there's like other egregious ones. This one is POV, you sleep with a tampon and it shows somebody in the ICU. There is a very specific case in which if tampons are left in for a long time, you could get a life-threatening illness called toxic shock syndrome. However, for the vast majority of people, keeping in their tampons for the correct amount of time, sleeping in them is not an issue. So why would you try to scare people like this without really explaining what's going on? I felt that this really brought up a good point about the appeal to authority. This person's supposed to be a medical professional of some kind. I can't verify that. So I was asking myself, like, why would she be doing this? She doesn't really seem to take many sponsorships. She's not attracting patients to a clinic. Like, was it just for clout? The only partnership that I could find, which seems to be like a very long lasting and entrenched one is with this company Magic Healer. If you look into this company, they're selling these salves that make really wild claims, like their products are treatments for a whole host of medical conditions, including hidradenitis suppurativa, which is something that's really debilitating and I mean is a medical condition. These are sold in the US, and I just want y'all to know the claims that they're making about this, acne, etc. These are not drugs, so what they're doing is illegal. So, what can we learn here? Firstly, don't believe everything that you see on social media. I think one of the things that this creator and others have tapped into is that you could very easily go viral by giving people like vague, shocking information that they feel like affects their lives. And I think that for her content, that's why so much of it is vague or either like twisted to make things seem like they're big, really common problems when either A, they don't exist, or B, they're like very specific cases that the average person does not need to worry about. Second, check your sources. I mean, is this person a medical professional? I don't know. I have no idea, and there's no way to verify it. There are plenty of us online: derms, other doctors, cosmetic chemists, estheticians that you can verify that we're qualified. Like me, you could literally go online and look up my medical license. I'm not trying to hide. You have all my degrees, you have my full name. Like not every like seeming authority figure has the authority. Like I'm still left with a lot of questions. Let me just say, if she's a medical student, like she needs to stay in school, please. That also brings me to another point. Not every authority figure is going to be right about everything. And it's not always a case of, you know, this where they're like being intentionally misleading. Sometimes we're just wrong about things where new information comes out. Like for me, when I get corrected on something, I love it. I learned something new. I don't go on a tirade and try to assassinate the character of the person that tried to correct me. Especially in this way, which I felt like was like in poor taste. And again, I felt that there was homophobic intent here. Perhaps the thing that ticks me off the most about all of this is especially having to do with scaring people with acne off of simple things like, oh, you shower with the toilet seat open or something like that. If you know about acne, you know that people with acne have a higher rate of psychiatric symptoms, depression, and other psychological symptoms. So, why would you try to like scare them and give them anxiety just for your own clout? That seems very selfish to me. So, Dr. Mez, if you haven't blocked me already, I would love some sort of response or explanation. The ball's in your court.